Howdy ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniel here with roslynrags, and today in this video I would like to show you how to do a 4-leaf clover, and I'm going to show you on a bandana. So I have a white bandana here. It is damp, it has been soda ashed, and what I'm going to do to start off with is fold it in half. And with a 4-leaf clover, it's more or less a 4-pointed star, so once I fold it in half, I'm going to fold it in half again into quarters from the center point. Now I'm going to fold it into eighths, so I'm going to take the top quarter and fold it into itself, and then I'm going to take the bottom quarter and fold it into itself. So you'll have a side with 2 sides and a side with 3 sides. So what we're going to do is the side with 2 sides is going to be our 4-leaf clover, and then the side with 3 sides I'm going to separate one and make the stem. So for a 4-leaf clover, and when you're doing something square and you're trying to make like a round design, you'll want to find where the shortest distance is, and that's going to be this corner. So for my 4-leaf clover, I'm going to just kind of go and make almost a heart shape, but instead of ending on the same line that I started with the head of the design, I'm going to end up on the other side, and then I'm just going to mark this for future's sake. So let's get folding. I'm going to start on this end, and it's a little bit more difficult on a t-shirt because the fabric's going to be thicker, but I'm just going to do a fan fold or an accordion fold, and I'm just making even little pleats along this line, and they're probably 1/4 inch thick or so, and you're going to continue that all the way up, and they get a little bit more bunched up the further up you go. So I'm going to start folding on the table. Now that that's all folded up, I'm going to rubber band it. I'm going to rubber band it pretty good. I believe this is a relatively large rubber band. Yeah, so now let's separate out of the 3 sides that you had. You had one side with 2 sides, then you had another side with 3 sides. So I had marked that one section, and I'm just going to fan fold that up really quickly. I'm going to throw a rubber band on there as well, and that's going to be the stem of the clover. I'm going to try and incorporate that into the leaf as much as I can. And then with the rest of it, I'm going to shore this up a little bit. This is the 4-leaf clover. This is the stem, and then this is just going to be the outside of it. So let me get another rubber band and rubber band up the clover part of it. And now with this, I'm just going to kind of wrap up the loose ends, so to speak, and fold a rubber band around it a couple times. So here is your folded 4-leaf clover. Let's go down and dye it. Welcome back. We are down in my dyeing room, and I just have a tray from a refrigerator and or a shelf from a refrigerator and just a tray, and it allows the dye to drip down through so it doesn't pool up. And I have a bright green and a forest green. Here is our 4-leaf clover. Here is the leaves of the clover, and then here's the stem, and this is the outside of the clover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little bit of bright green. I'm going to put it around the middle of the leaves, I guess is what I would call this. And dealing with a bandana, you're not going to use very much dye. So I think that's probably going to do it for that part. And now I have some forest green, and I'm going to put that along the outside edge of the leaves. And then I'm going to work my way towards the green, the bright green. And once I feel that I have enough on this side, then I'll flip it over and do it on the other side, then I'll hit the stem as well. So I'll add a little bit more. And normally, dealing with shirts, just is the amount of material that you have for the amount of dye that you're going to have to use. So once again, sweatshirts are going to take longer. Tapestries don't take as much dye as you think. They're normally a fair bit thinner than a t-shirt. So that's enough dye. There's a little bit of green. If I were just to kind of squeeze this a little bit, there's some green showing through, so I'm just going to put some more forest green on here. And once again, I'm going to start on the outside edge and work my way towards the bright green. You can probably do it the opposite direction as well. It's tie-dye. It doesn't really matter as long as you're comfortable with whatever process that you're working on. And now here is the stem, so I'm going to put some forest green on the stem. That looks pretty saturated. And then I'm just going to make sure that the stem and the leaves meet, so I'm just going to put some green just kind of right there. It's cool, it's tie-dye. It works. And then I think I'm going to finish it with some turquoise. So I have some turquoise here with me, and I'm just going to put turquoise on the rest of this. And I may even put some green over the turquoise. That may be kind of fun. And I'm just saturating the one side, and I'm going to turn it over, and hopefully I won't have to use as much dye. And I'm going to squeeze it a little bit to try and get the dye to penetrate even further into the fabric. And that looks pretty good, so I'm going to put some more turquoise on this side that's still somewhat white. And then I'm going to give it another good squeeze, try and get some of that excess dye off. And now what I think I may do is give this a squeeze too, just the main greens, and then I think I'm going to cover the whole thing in the forest green. Oops, just dropped my dye bottles a little bit, but they're fine. I'm going to cover the majority of this in green. So, there you go. There's a 4-leaf clover.